Squid Game Season 3 destroyed any piece of trust the characters had left, from the dark plans in the final games to a dark betrayal nobody expected. But before you see that, we need to look at Jongdae abandoning Seonnyo. The first betrayal that really set the tone for how cruel this season would get happened during the hide-and-seek game, and it involved two characters who were supposed to have each other's backs. Jongdae and Seonnyo were attempting to escape during the chaos of Season 3's first game. After Seonnyo found the exit, she found out she needed 3 keys to open the door. When she was looking for the keys, she found Jongdae disguised as a dead player. The two decided to team up. They worked together, and Seonnyo had shown incredible loyalty to her group throughout the season. Throughout Season 2 and early Season 3, we even saw how other players would kneel and pray to her like she was some kind of god. That's how much respect and loyalty she commanded. But things were going to go very wrong for her. After finding the exit and opening the door, Jongdae did the unthinkable. He threw her out of the way and took the keys. He left her there to die when she needed him most. And Seonnyo didn't just get eliminated quietly, she was brutally killed by Minsu, who was completely drugged out of his mind and hallucinating during the attack. Now, what makes this betrayal painful is that Seonnyo wasn't just some random player. She was one of the most interesting antagonists in the entire series, having survived through her intelligence and her ability to create loyalty in others. But if you thought that was bad, remember that the betrayals would only get way worse from here, like the lunchbox plan. Jongdae, along with player 203 and player 353, came up with what might be the most coldly strategic betrayal in the entire franchise. During the final Sky Squid game, these three didn't just eliminate player 039 in the heat of the moment. They deliberately broke his leg. Why? Because they wanted to use him as what they called a lunchbox. Basically a disposable human tool to help them reach the end of the game, only to throw him away and eliminate him afterward. This wasn't a desperate move made in the heat of battle. This was premeditated cruelty. They sat down, planned this out, and decided that player 039's life was worth exactly as much as a piece of equipment they could use and discard. Many fans have compared this to the marble game betrayals from Season 1, but noted that this was somehow even darker, because of the sheer calculated brutality of it. The fact that they broke his leg first shows they wanted him to suffer and be completely helpless. They didn't just want to eliminate him, they wanted to torture him first and make sure he knew he was being used. That level of dehumanization is what made Season 3 so hard to watch. At least those betrayals happened inside the games. The next one destroyed all hope from the outside. Captain Park had been working with Junho's investigation team, trying to bring down the games from the outside. These were the good guys, the ones who were supposed to save everyone. Junho had been building this case, gathering evidence, and finally seemed like he might be able to stop the madness. But Captain Park was working for the frontman the entire time. He wasn't just passively giving information to the enemy. After being exposed, Captain Park knew his time was up. When the moment came, he turned on Junho's team and tried to kill everyone, like the frontman told him. Junho was forced to kill someone he had trusted completely, someone who saved him, and had been pretending to fight alongside him while planning his death. This betrayal hit different because it destroyed the one source of hope viewers had, that someone from the outside world could stop the games. Even I was incredibly frustrated with this plotline, and many fans said it made Junho's entire storyline feel pointless. One fan put it perfectly. The detective's screen time felt completely pointless, adding nothing to the plot. He doesn't even have a conversation with his brother. But when all outside help was gone, one person's lie doomed everyone's last chance at freedom. This is the betrayal that broke everything. When Gi-hun and his allies organized their rebellion against the guards, they had one shot to change everything. One chance to fight back and maybe, just maybe, get everyone out of there alive. Kang Dae-ho, player 388, was given one crucial job during the rebellion. He was supposed to fetch extra magazines for their weapons. This wasn't some minor task. This was literally the difference between success and total failure. And Dae-ho had claimed to be a former Marine, so everyone trusted that he knew what he was doing and could handle the pressure. When the moment came, Dae-ho froze. He just completely disappeared and never came back with those magazines. Without the extra ammunition, the rebellion was doomed from the start. The majority of allies died because of his failure, and any hope of escaping the games died with them. But what was the twist that made this even more painful? Dae-ho had never served in the Marines at all. He had completely made up his military background because he was desperate to fit in and be respected by Gi-hun and Young-bae. When Gi-hun finally confronted him during the hide-and-seek game, Daeho admitted the truth, but by then it was too late. When Gi-hun corners Daeho during hide-and-seek, Daeho admits he lied about being a Marine because he desperately wanted their friendship. Gi-hun kills him out of both game rules and personal rage over the failed rebellion, but it's tragic because Daeho's lie came from insecurity, not because he's secretly evil. The games force Gi-hun to execute a friend whose only crime was being too scared to tell the truth. What makes this betrayal so complex is that fans are genuinely divided in how to feel about Daeho. Some see him as a tragic figure who lied out of insecurity, not malice. As one Reddit user put it, he didn't lie about being a Marine to make himself look stronger or more competent. Instead, Daeho saw himself as a loser, and he desperately wanted to be friends with Gi-hun and Jung-bae. Sadly, the thing he thought would lead to friendship actually ended up causing his death. But others can't forgive him because his lie cost so many lives. When Gi-hun finally killed him during the game, it felt both tragic and inevitable. If you thought the show couldn't go any lower, you were wrong. During the final Sky Squid game, player 336 attempted something so evil that it left viewers genuinely shocked at how far the series was willing to go. Junhee, player 222, had given birth during the games. And now, there was an innocent newborn baby in the middle of this nightmare. The VIPs decided to make the baby take the place of Junhee as player 222. This decision would be a very bad one for reasons we see later on. Player 336 decided that his best path to victory was to push both Gi-hun and this innocent baby off the platform to their deaths. Think about that for a second. This man looked at a newborn baby, a child who had done nothing wrong, who wasn't even really a player in the games, and decided that murdering this infant was his ticket to winning the money. The attempt failed, and player 336 was eliminated instead, but the fact that it almost happened was enough to make fans sick. This moment was widely condemned as one of the most heartless acts in the entire series. Many viewers expressed shock that the show would even go so far as to put a newborn baby in direct danger like this. This wasn't just about winning the games anymore. This was about a complete abandonment of basic human decency. The fact that player 336 could even conceive of this plan shows just how thoroughly the games had corrupted these people. But one player took that corruption even further. Myung-gi's betrayal might be the most frustrating one on this list because of how it completely destroyed what seemed like a genuine redemption arc. Player 333 entered Season 3 as a former YouTuber and crypto scammer, but also as the biological father of Junhee's baby. At first, he appeared to be on a path toward redemption, teaming up with Gi-hun and Junhee to protect the baby. He seemed strategic, resourceful, and genuinely committed to keeping his child safe. But the hide-and-seek game was where everything started falling apart. Myung-gi became increasingly ruthless, killing other players initially for survival, but soon it was clear he was motivated by personal gain. He killed Hyunju and several others, marking the start of his moral decline. His growing detachment and willingness to betray anyone for survival contributed to Junhee's sense of isolation and distrust. When she jumped to her death during the jump rope challenge, refusing his help, it was partly because she could no longer rely on the man he had become. By the final game, Myung-gi had fully embraced his villainous side. Despite once protecting the baby, he now saw his own child as an obstacle to winning the entire prize money. He attempted to manipulate Gi-hun into handing over the baby so he could kill his own child and be the sole winner. He killed player 336, then player 353 in cold blood, and when Jong-dae was begging for mercy, he pushed him to his death without hesitation. Fans were furious about this character assassination. As one Reddit user put it, he always voted X once he found out Junhee and the baby were in the games. He also constantly risked and looked out for them. Another said, Myung-gi in Season 3 starts randomly caring about the money again. He was literally traumatized after previous games. The speed and extremity of his shift from conflicted ally to child-killing monster felt forced and destroyed any investment viewers had in his redemption. The system was so corrupt, it even forced the most moral person to cross the line. This one hits different because it's not really a betrayal in the traditional sense. It's what happens when the system forces even the most moral person to become something they never wanted to be. Gi-hun spent the entire series trying to maintain his humanity. He wanted to save people, to find a way to beat the games without becoming a monster. But during the final game, he was forced to kill player 203 in self-defense. This wasn't premeditated. This wasn't malicious. This was pure survival. But it still represents a fundamental betrayal of everything Gi-hun stood for. He had to betray his own moral code just to stay alive. Many fans sympathized with Gi-hun, recognizing that the system itself had forced him into an impossible situation. But that's what makes it so tragic. Even when you try to stay good, even when you try to do the right thing, the games will eventually corrupt you. They'll force you to become something you never wanted to be. Gi-hun's kill shows that in the end, the games don't just eliminate players. They eliminate the good parts of whoever survives. But the most devastating betrayal was saved for last. The final betrayal is the one that retroactively makes everything else hurt even more. Throughout Season 2, Player 001 had been someone Gi-hun could trust, someone who seemed to understand what they were fighting for. But In-ho wasn't just another player. He was the front man, the person running the entire operation. Every conversation, every moment of apparent friendship, every time Gi-hun thought he had found an ally, it was all a lie. When In-ho reveals himself to Gi-hun, he doesn't just admit who he is. He offers Gi-hun the chance to kill all the remaining players himself. He's literally asking Gi-hun to betray everything he believes in, and become the very monster the games want him to be. This betrayal cuts deeper than all the others because it's personal. In-ho had Gi-hun's trust. He knew exactly what Gi-hun was fighting for, what he believed in, what he was trying to protect, and he was working against all of that from day one. Many fans felt this reveal was forced and undermined earlier character development, but that might be the point. The show is saying that in this world, trust itself is a weapon that will be used against you. Hope is just another way to hurt you. In-ho's betrayal represents everything dark about Season 3. The idea that there is no escape, no salvation, and no one you can truly trust. Even the people fighting alongside you might be the ones pulling the strings. If you enjoyed this video and want to find out how to beat every game in Season 3, click the video on the screen.